What's going on, guys? The new Hopeness Lab iteration has appeared. I'm not sure why they did it now. It seems to be a little bit weird. They're supposed to do it in the beginning of the month, but whatever. Not complaining. Anyway, if you guys aren't familiar with these Hopeness Lab videos, I basically talk about a hero's best abilities, period. You know, basic abilities and then advanced abilities included. Some heroes you don't necessarily need advanced abilities, and so I do dive into that. It differs depending on the APC and depending on the hero, but you can apply a lot of the knowledge that you learn from these videos to other heroes as well, and you can always ask me questions about the Hopeness Lab whenever. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you stay tuned. Today's video is obviously Tech Priestess, as the title indicates. Tomorrow we'll be having Scarlet Siren, and we'll get them all out here. So stay tuned and enjoy. All right. So like I said in the beginning, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries, everything in between and around, Tech Priestess today is what we're doing. Right now, my Tech Priestess is actually at 0, so I'm going to roll for the pulls so you can see, exactly how many crystals it takes. But we'll talk about the abilities that I'm going to keep, the abilities that I'll skip, and so on and so forth. So if you don't know the Season 3 or like Seasons 4 through Seasons 1 hero, it requires a Season 4 through Season 1 medal. So you can split your heroes if you want. You can, like, if you don't have enough medals, you can start splitting your Season 1s. Don't split the speed Season 1, so like War Boss, Professional, Dragon's Rage, but you can split like, the Flash and Light of the Past and things like that if you need these tokens to unlock these heroes. It's worth it at this point. You're not really going to be using those Season 1s. So anyway, I'm just going to, do that. Also, if you're very confused, like if this is your first time doing the Hopeness Lab stuff, your character needs to have all 4 abilities unlocked. So 1 through 8 completely 100% unlocked, and then you use one of those medals. All right, so first things first, I recommend assigning your preferences before you start rolling. The reason for that is the normal mode can also give you advanced abilities. So regardless whether it's normal mode or advanced mode, you can get special abilities, so you might as well set your preferences early. So in this case, I'm going to be talking about the preferences that you're going to want on Tech Priestess. So there's honestly a lot. Tech Priestess is one of those heroes who really can use pretty much anything. She's just a really versatile hero. So you can use something like leadership. A lot of people really like leadership. It's not that important. The game is not about how many survive at the end necessarily. It's about how many have died. So the actual overall power loss, not relevant to the number of heroes at the end. So if you get leadership and you have 10,000 more, or 6,000 or whatever the color grade is, but you lose 1,000 more troops than the enemy, you are going to lose. So that just keep that in mind. But it's not a bad ability to take. You can obviously overheal. With more troops, you actually end up doing more damage. It's just not really that important on Tech Priestess because Tech Priestess isn't really damage based. So one of the first abilities that I'll mention is Lucky 5. Lucky 5 gives the hero's 5th ability a greater chance to activate. Tech Priestess's 5th ability is her Confusion, so it's very good to have Lucky 5. Because you're going to confuse more often. Temporary Preparedness is obviously always going to be a good skill. It heals around 7,000 a game. It can do more or less depending on luck, you know what I mean? But it heals around like 5 to 10,000 recovery every game, or treatment is what it's called. So it's definitely not a bad ability in any scenario. Efficient treatment is also going to be a good option. The reason for this is Tech Priestess can heal herself, but also a lot of the combos that we run with Tech Priestess has other healers involved. So like, Retro, some people still run her with Retro, with Kami, etc. So if you're running a combination with Tech Priestess and another healer, it's a pretty good option. Canoness, for example, Tech Priestess Wrath Cannon, it's good to get that additional healing. Now, any of the damage-based abilities aren't a good option. So, like, none of the conversions. Unarmed Storm is actually a really bad. Self-defense instinct is okay, but it's just worse. There's a lot better options. I generally would skip. Greed, not a good option. You need to deal damage, and she doesn't. Hourglass is actually a really good option, especially if it's a higher color or rarity, I guess. Again, her fifth ability, her Confusion, has 1 turn prep, and what Hourglass does is it basically skips prep, or it has a chance to skip that prep. So instead of 1 turn prep, it's instant, which is huge. Really, really, really cool, especially in mirror matchups. So if you're going up against Tech Priestess, you can actually confuse instantly, like round 1. So yeah, really good option. Hourglass. Surprise attack is fine. It is what it is. It's not going to be amazing, but I mean, I wouldn't take it, but it's okay. It's better than some of the other options. Distance strike is definitely, don't take that. Potential unleashed, probably not your best option. You're losing. There's just better options, but it's not terrible. If you just get a gold potential unleashed right away, I mean, go ahead and keep it. You're going to gain, 100 resistance below 50% is certainly not bad. The problem with potential unleashed is that Tech Priestess rarely goes below 50%. So yeah, and if she does, it's normally towards the end of the round or end of the fight where that buff is less useful. Background Sword, completely skip. Full Vigor, completely skip. Preemptive Strike, completely skip. Elite Squad, completely skip. Reaper's Scythe, completely skip. Defensive Attack is going to be a pass just because of the position. Generally, pretty much always, like 99% of the time, Tech Priestess goes in the middle, in which case defensive attack is completely useless. However, if you do get this, you can run Tech Priestess in the front. It's totally not bad. Tech Priestess Kami Wrath, for example, is very, very solid. So if you get it, you just kind of have to change up your lineup. That's totally fine. Endless Trial is a solid option if you're running her in the front. Well, a really good option if you're running her in the front. And a decent option if you're running her in the middle. But again, there are better options. Killer or Magician, basically this one's like every hero, any situation. This one's really solid. It's not like game breaking or anything like that, but it's always just a consistent good option. So yeah. And then Auto Strike is fine. There's not really much to say about Auto Strike. It does extra damage. That's it. It doesn't mean you will deal 80% more damage. I have to stress this one often. It doesn't mean you'll deal 80% more damage. It literally means you'll deal an instant 80 damage. Not 80, but 80% damage. But basically, you can take an auto attack. The basic attack is 100% damage, right? So it doesn't mean you're dealing like 1,000,000 damage. It just means you deal whatever that basic attack is. So let's just say 1,000. Auto Strike is going to deal 800. Just at the end of the round or each round, it's just going to deal 800 damage. So it's never a bad option per se. And definitely if there's no better option, Auto Strike is like a fine. Okay, sure, whatever, So the preferences that I'm going to run, likely in my scenario, because generally when I run Tech Priestess, it's in the middle. And yeah, Killer or Magician, Hourglass, and honestly Lucky 5. But Temporary Preparedness and Defensive Attack would certainly be high up on the list as well. But this is what I'm running here. Lucky 5, Hourglass, and Killer or Magician. The order doesn't actually matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Hourglass first and Lucky 5 second and Killer or Magician. It's the same thing. So anyway, with all that said, I'm probably not going to get any of those advanced abilities. But again, just do it beforehand anyway. So now let's get into it. Basically, what I do is I roll. Hey, nice. We got our first purple already, so that's pretty cool. I roll normal mode. Basically, just skip everything until we get gold, and then we check out. Oh, what is this gold? If it's not good, we skip it, and we move on from there. So before I get into that, or before I significantly start going into it, I'm going to talk about the basic abilities that you're going to want because I might not see them. So I figured I'd do them now. So you definitely don't want Might. She does absolutely no damage, and that goes along with any of the other damage ones. So you don't want Tactical Might. You don't want damage. You don't want any of the sieges on any hero basically ever. Unless you're a super, super low spender and you get it, like Siege Defense. Siege Defender Resistance, for example, is like just it's okay, I guess. The problem with Siege is that they're very specific scenarios. In Eden, for example, it's almost entirely useless. If you're a low spender, you shouldn't really be getting attacked at your base ever. You should just be porting out of Eden before you can get attacked. Otherwise, you're just going to lose all your troops. So I pretty much always just advise people to steer clear from these. And if you're a big spender and you're going to be tanking, you might as well just get the better options anyway because you're a big spender. All of the counters are pretty terrible. Don't get any of them. Even like vehicle counter, don't get any of them. Again, damage, do not get. Group might is technically damage, and group tactical might is technically damage. It's going to depend on the combo that you're running whether or not you get these. So group might, for example, if some people run, Tech Priestess, Tech Priestess, Scorpion, Wrath. In that case, group might is a pretty decent option. You're going to give Scorpion more damage, but for the most part, the Tech Priestess Wrath combos like Kami Tech Wrath, you don't really need that might. So generally steer clear. And then group tactical might is just a worse version of group might. So that basically leaves the rest. Take group resistance every single time you get it. Take group tactical resistance every single time you get it. Take resistance whenever you get it. Take HP whenever you get it. And take tactical resistance whenever you get it. Tactical resistance and regular resistance are entirely the same. HP is a very good defensive option. It's pretty similar to resistance, to 30 resist. It's 10 HP, so pretty similar to 30 resistance. So you go ahead and take any of those options that I've listed there. The rest basically skip over. So now we're going to try our luck and see, if we actually get those abilities. One of the problems with these defensive heroes is they can be quite expensive because you really only want the defensive ones. Whereas with, offensive heroes, or for example, you can take damage and you can take defense, because defense is certainly a good option. If you're dead, you're going to deal no damage. So these defensive heroes are actually significantly more expensive in terms of how many crystals you're going to use. So I'm just going to take this purple tactical resistance for now, just because I don't have unlimited crystals, obviously. I mean, nobody does. So it's not a terrible option. And I'm just going to go through here. Okay, group tactical resistance is a little bit better. But it doesn't really matter. I'm looking for certainly for the first roll, you want golds. So, yeah. Just because it's the first roll is the cheapest, obviously. So you might as well just roll it until you get a good gold. Then from there on, you can think about taking purples, depending on your spending level or how much you care about Tech Priestess, really. So that's what I would generally recommend. Is first one always gold, and we'll see. I believe I started at about 2450 or something like that, maybe 2500. I don't know. You can, rewind and check. So we'll see what we end up with. I'm gonna say 2400, like 2450 probably is just like a good solid number. It was probably even a little bit less. And yeah, we'll see how much I go. I might not just get all golds on her, seeing as it's taking a little bit. I also need to get my Scarlet Siren up. The rest of the heroes in the pool, I guess, in the new extended pool are pretty bad. Commissar and Wanderer are horrible. Here we go. Resistance plus 30. Nice. So I'm going to lock this in. And that took us, at less than 200? So not terrible for your first gold. And then you can start taking in sort of some of these other ones. So, if I was a very low or free-to-play player, I would definitely lock in this purple resistance and then just keep going for like purples or blues, or maybe even, whatever I get afterwards. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and re-roll it. It might bite me in the butt, but it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world losing these crystals. You do get them back. So one thing I wish the developers would do, among an enormous list of things that I wish the developers would do, is add polymer crystals to the arm supply. It doesn't really make much sense why they're not added to the arm supply. Everything else is war badges, red cubes, etc. So it's just kind of weird that the polymer crystals aren't. I'm not really sure why. So again, group might is definitely an option. depending on the combos that you're running. So like I said, with a Scorpion Wrath or something like that, it's pretty solid. Even with Wrath in general, Group Might is a solid option. I'm probably going to lock it in just because I don't particularly need my Tech Priestess to be like amazing. And it's okay for, generally I run Tech Priestess Wrath. So Wrath getting that additional might is okay. I mean, it's not anything crazy. I've used about 200 plus 250 crystals for these 2 rolls. So we're just gonna lock it in for now, and then we'll move along. So now I actually want to do the advanced mode. The reason is if I decide that I get a really good advanced mode roll, I'm going to lock it in and then probably unlock Group Might so I can get some better rolls from there. The thing with the advanced modes is that it's very uncommon to get really, really good ones, especially like gold. So this was my preference, but obviously green is a little bit too low. Generally, I would take a gold good ability over a green advanced ability, even if it's a good green advanced ability. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like okay, we're actually going to take efficient treatment for now. This is a pretty good list so far. I will be rolling this more, obviously, to just get better versions, but I'm going to take this for now. The reason why is because I still need to do other videos, so I don't want to run out of these crystals before I can do those videos, and then I will jump back into Tech Priestess. In any case, this is good enough for me, so something like this should be good enough for you guys. Maybe, I mean, obviously, depending on who's watching the video. If you have 900 million crystals, then you're just going to go for the best of the best. But in any case, hopefully you guys take my advice and not necessarily, what I end up with. Don't just screenshot this and be like, oh my God, this is the best possible thing. So look at these preferences again. Killer Magician, Hourglass, Lucky 5. I would take some of the other ones, Temporary Preparedness, some Defensive Attack. Obviously, I took Efficient Treatment. But it's not going to be the best one. I'll re-roll it eventually. So there you go. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys get your Tech Priestesses nice and wonderful. You can for sure ask me. It's never a bad decision to kind of lock in, test around, and then, do some more. So, for example, you might get a blue or a purple potential unleashed or even a gold potential unleashed. Lock it in, try it out. You can always re-roll it later, so it's not like you're fully committing. So in this case, I can be fairly happy with what I have for now. It took me only less than, I don't know, maybe 300 crystals and about 1,000 decay energy to get what I have, and it's maybe halfway there. So there you go. That's about it for the video, guys. Like I said, you can apply some of this knowledge to other heroes, especially defensive heroes. They can use similar things, but some of the advanced mode, it's very different. Like Hourglass, I wouldn't take on like Canoness, for example. But yeah, you can take some of the knowledge transferred here. Also, Scarlet Siren video will be coming up tomorrow. It's going to be pretty much the exact same thing. I'm recording it 2 minutes later, so enjoy. Stay tuned. I will catch you guys later. Hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you get great rolls. Hopefully you guys all get them immediately with 10 crystals spent. I will catch you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up